I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and this is a video on all things pitch and what you need to include in an answer when you're actually doing a HSC question on pitch. Now, it's very rare that you actually get a straight question on pitch. Sometimes you do, but these are the sorts of things that you should be listening for and looking for. So I'm going to talk about it and show you some things, because this is all part of the, all these resources that I'm about to show you are in the free resource that you can get at the Master of the Concepts of Music on my Teachable site, which I'll give you details in a moment. They said we're looking at pitch today. So let's have a look at this, and I will share my screen. Here we go. And slideshow. Come on. Alrighty. So as said, 5 things you need to master pitch. Doesn't sound like much, does it? It doesn't. It's actually quite easy. And I have to say, pitch was the first thing that I actually, when I was doing my system, was the first thing I did. Alrighty. So welcome. I'm going to talk about briefly. So let's take this off to get a bit warm. What are the 6 concepts of music? So I'll talk about those. I'll give a very brief explanation of each of those. There's a video on each of them in this on the channel, that if you're watching this on YouTube, on each of the channels, each of the concepts. So go and have a look there if you want to know more information. And then I'm going to dive deeper into the 5 things you need to master pitch in music. So the actual 6 concepts of music are, in alphabetical order: duration, dynamics and expressive techniques, pitch, which is what we're focusing on today, structure, texture, and tone color. So you might call duration rhythm, but for me, it's called duration, and it refers to how long a short a sound is in the very basic terms. There's a lot more to it, obviously, than that. Then dynamics and expressive techniques. Now, dynamics refers to the volume of the music, in other words, how loud or soft it is playing. And expressive techniques are all those unique articulation and sound production methods that an instrument uses to create the sounds in that piece of music. So even though the instrument might be able to play lots of different sounds, it might only be playing certain sounds or certain using certain production techniques or expressive techniques to actually create a sound in that piece of music. Pitch is what we're referring to today, which is how high or low a pitched note is. Now, if you do the elements of music, for me, pitch, for you, it would be melody, harmony, and tonality. Now, those 3 things all come under pitch. Okay, for me. Structural form is the order and arrangement of the parts of a piece of music. Texture is all about how thick or thin or sparse or dense the layers of sound are in a piece of music. And also tone color then is the instruments actually used in a piece of music. Now, tone color, sometimes you might be talking about timbre, which is actually the actual sound of the instrument, what it sounds like, or you might also be talking about performing media. Oh, why didn't that work? There we go. So the concepts of music pitch. So let's have a look. So as I said before, pitch simply refers to the height or depth of a sound. It's as simple as that. That's all it is. Now, as I briefly touched on, you can get a free resource that I'm about to show you, all the bits and pieces that are actually in this free resource. If you go to that link there, jooya.teachable.com. Now, if you actually just go to that site, you'll find that there's the Master of Concepts of Music freebie that'll be available there. And it's going to be available and free all the time. Okay, so you can grab it right there. So if you are looking in this actual resource, as I said, there are some of these things. So this is the pitch one in A4, as you can see there, as opposed to, now I've actually got these as A3, which means it's twice this. So it's twice as big. I'm not going to try and even hold it up here because you won't see it in the camera, but that's it printed, and it's not laminated, this one, because it's much easier, because otherwise you get a nice reflection. But this is the actual poster. So as it says there, you can have a go at maybe printing it A3 size to use as a poster for display, or print it A5 size. A5 is this size, which is, you can get to an A4 sheet, okay, which is great for a reminder in the kids' books. Or you could even print it A6 size, which is, you know, you can get 2 of those in that size. And again, it's a nice little reminder. And what I like about those ones, because I usually, oops, so it's not, why does it always get stuck when you're looking for it? Okay, so I've printed it that size. This is the A6 size that I was just showing you. But what I've done is, for every single one of the concepts of music, so you can see there's there's the thing, and that's it just there. And you'll see in a moment, you also get the pitch, what do you call it, mind map already, which is fantastic. Now, this is a really good size, fits in the pocket, fits in the bag, and it's a great size and a reference for students to use. Okay, perfect size for them to actually be using in their books, as I said, just as a little handy resource. As you can see, it's all in a little thingy, laminated. They last a long time when you do it that way. I've done them like that for years. Okay, so as I said, print A6 size and laminate and assemble with the other concepts and make it like a little flip card resource for your students to use in preparation for a listening question or on pitch. Now, if you're a student, obviously you can still go and grab this yourself. This is not just for teachers. You can use this as your for your own purposes. Then there's the mind map. And again, you can print these in different sizes. Again, print at A3 and use as a poster. So there's the A4 size again. Okay, A5, if you print it smaller, you'll get, again, it's a great size for kids' books. And you can use this for individual work or as part of a group work. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing group work is I print it A4 size in the middle of an A3. So there's about that much sort of space around, whoops, you can't see it, the side. That much space around the side edges, and it actually gives them a bit more room to actually use when they are doing a listening map. Fantastic for that. Okay, I said use it all the time. Again, use for individual work or for group work, or put it in assessments, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So as I said, and I've just sort of talked about then, you can use the pitch mind map as a listening planning map. So if you're doing a listening exercise, talk to them about pitch and say, okay, now for each thing that you can, each part of pitch, I want you to write something down. And it's just a good way to actually, and then if you do a gallery walk, get the kids to go and have a look at what each other's got and then come back, add to it. And then they can use that to actually build on and create another response. As a performance planning map, it's also really good. And also a composition planning map, which is what I'm using at the moment. My kids actually will hand in their assessments next week. So I can't wait to see how they've used the planning map. I've seen bits and pieces, but I haven't had a good sticky beat because, as I said, it's an assessment. So this particular one, teaching the concepts of music, and that particular image, okay, all coloured there, is not in the free resource. It's not, but it is available on my Teachers Pay Teachers store. In my Teachers Pay Teachers store, it's the concepts of music mind maps. Okay, there's an elements of music mind map. Right, and there's also a concepts of music mind map. So this is from the concepts of music. You can see here, I have a thing about making everything color-coded. So for me, pitch is pink, always has been, and that's why it's in pink here. So for pitch, then, the things that you should be talking about and the things that would actually go in each of these little bubbles around the edges here are there, where you can see melody, ornamentation, range, and register and roll. I know it's got pitch at the bottom as well. Okay, and phrasing and harmony, because pitch is the main concept. And I wanted to make sure that for the concepts of music, that students had the actual definition of what pitch is. If you're using this one, because it doesn't have that bubble down the bottom, I would simply put the definition of pitch actually in the middle underneath pitch there. But I didn't want it there in these ones, okay? But we're going to look at these individually in a moment. So you can see here the correlation between the mind map and the actual poster, because it's, again, it's just a different way of representing it. And some kids, and I know myself, prefer one over the other. So some kids might prefer the actual poster, and it's a really simple memory guide for them. Others might actually prefer the actual mind map. So it's a bit, got a bit more information for them on there, and they might think that actually works better for their brain. It really doesn't matter. It's the same stuff. It's just in presented in two different formats. So let's talk about what melody, what you need to talk about for pitch. So it is melody, ornamentation, range, roll, register, phrasing, and harmony. So they're the things that we need to talk about when you're doing a pitch question. Melody is obviously one of the most important things. And look, it's a really important feature of a lot of music, whether it be Western or music of other cultures. But melody is one of those things that's the part people remember. Okay, that's the main thing. So that's when I'm talking to my kids about what melody is. It is simply about what is the main part of the music. So the melody is, a definition is, a series of pitches that forms a tune. That's it. It's that simple. Ornamentation, on the other hand, are all the fancy parts to a melody. So it could be a trill, a turn, a slide, a glissando, bends, hammer-ons, vibrato, staccato, legato, anything that is actually added to the melody to give it some unique sort of flair, or it could be that it's actually written in the music as well, depending on the music that students or what you're listening to. As I said, the melody is simply all the ornamentation is all the fancy parts. Now, I used to, if you've watched my other videos that I did years ago, what I like to do is also talk about a Christmas tree. So if you think about the Christmas tree, okay, as the melody, and if it's got nothing on it, it looks pretty boring, okay? But if you add ornaments to the Christmas tree, all the Christmas decorations, the Christmas tree starts to look very beautiful. And it's the same sort of thing for a melody. And you know, it's the same sort of thing. Sometimes on a Christmas tree, there's too much, and it might be too much of the one thing. Same deal with a melody and using ornamentation. There might be too much of it. So think about how you're going to, how it actually is being used. And simply put, though, it's all the fancy parts to the melody, things that make it interesting. Range, this should be pink, I'm sorry. Range is all about the distance between the lowest and highest note performed in an instrument by an instrument. So the range of a song, if it's hot cross buns, I use that example very a lot. It's 3 notes, very narrow, very, very narrow. Whereas the range on a performed by someone on the piano, for example, has the potential to have a very, very wide range from the lowest to the highest. Register, again, this should be pink. The height of the notes performed by an instrument described as treble or bass. So the piccolo would be in a treble register, the bassoon would be in a bass register, and also the oboe would also be in a treble register. Roll is the role an instrument performs in a piece of music. Okay, so what are they actually doing? What if in this little ensemble we've got a trombone, a French horn, and a trumpet? What instrument's playing the melody? We don't know. It could be the French horn playing the melody and the other 2 instruments playing the melodic accompaniment. Don't know. So you've got to think about what pitched role do they perform in the music. Phrasing. This is one of the hardest things for kids to get. I don't know why, but it just is. So it's the small musical sentence usually heard when a singer takes a small breath or break between small sections of the melody. Now, not all melodies are sung. I know that, but it's just a good way to remember it. So if the melody goes da 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 da, terrible melody, I'm sorry, very badly sung. But those little breaths, those little pauses, that's where the phrasing actually goes. So it's short phrasing. So we can talk about phrasing in lots of different ways. Harmony. Harmony is the succession of chords or chordal progressions made by 2 or more parts or voices playing or singing together. That's a lot. Basically, harmony is all the other melodic stuff that supports the melody. Okay, so if you've got someone singing and someone playing the guitar, the harmony is being provided by the guitar. Okay, and the harmony is what chords are they playing? How are they playing it? Is it a chord progression? Is it a chord pattern? Or if it's someone singing, the chords might be made up by the other parts. So usually, in a choir, the sopranos take the lead, and then the altos, tenors, and basses, they would do the harmony, depending on the type of choir it is. Obviously, that's an SATB choir, but that's the harmony. But again, the harmony could be provided by any melodic instrument, and it can be done in multiple ways. So pitch in music is teaching the concepts, okay? So if we're teaching the concepts and we're learning about the concepts, these are the sorts of things we need to look for, and that's what we need to look for in pitch. Melody, ornamentation, range, register, and roll, phrasing, and harmony. It's as simple as that. And as you can see in my nice little one here, okay, which is what's on the page there. So melody, ornamentation, range, roll, register, phrasing, and harmony. And the way to remember it, it's MORPH. They're the 5 things you need to remember. MORPH, morph into pitch, melody, ornamentation, range, roll, register, phrasing, and harmony. So you can see there, that's what I actually was literally showing you before. So the pitch mind map, you can get, there's pitch things, you've got pitch poster and the pitch mind map, and that's what's actually in that photograph there. And you can see the different sizes. So in there, I've got the A4, the A5, and the A6 in the actual poster thing, and that's just an A4 and an A5 on the mind map, so you can see the difference in sizes, and it's literally all in the one thing. You just print it to a different size. Don't forget about the Concepts of Music freebie. You can get, there's posters for each of the concepts. So not just for pitch, it's obviously for all of them, all 6 of them. Plus there's also an other questions mind map, which I'm going to be talking about very shortly in another video. And also the music poster, and I don't think I didn't do a mind map for music, but it's, again, that's what all this hinges on. So great way for you to actually work and talk about any of the concepts of music using that framework. So if you'd like more information about the concepts of music and want to get that free download, you go to this little thing. If you go to jooya.teachable.com, and I know it says Master the Concepts of Music there. However, all you need to do is go to jooya.teachable.com, and there'll be a little image there that says Master the Concepts of Music. That's the freebie, okay? So that you can pop yourself in there, and that's when you're going to find that you'll have you'll be able to grab the freebie that I've been talking about in this video. If you would like a copy of anything else I've referred to tonight, because I've got stacks of stuff on my shop, you can go to my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Again, if you go to Teachers Pay Teachers and search Jooya Teaching Resources, I'm the only one. So you're going to find myself and my store there very easily. And there's so many resources there for you that you just simply, once you've popped them in your little cart and you paid for them, they're available instantly. And you can find obviously more information on harmony in particular, and tonality, okay, and melody in music on my blog at juliajooya.com. Because remember, my blog got a lot of stuff on the elements of music, and I'm talking about the concepts of music here at the moment. And I want to say thank you for watching. So let me just get out of that and out of SlideShare, stop screening. Stop share. And yes, okay, so I was just checking there. I thought I had forgotten to do something. But as I said, if you want to do that now, as I said, I'll get my words right eventually. That's it, printed small. Printed big. Actually, not as big as it could be. And on the back here, you could say I've printed it small as well. Okay, so you can see the difference in size. Just do them in different sizes for different activities. It's as simple as that. So that you can go and grab that freebie at juliajooya.teachable.com, and you'll see the Master the Concepts of Music, and you can go and get yourself one set or one copy over there. Until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and thank you for watching.